So here I am back, you guys. I hope you're still going to be able to hop on. Stephanie Zima here, trying new technology, my microphone that I can like walk around with while I'm talking to you guys and you all are still hearing me, as well as trying to figure out how to move my camera with me cooking. So if you were just trying to watch me, hop on back on. I'd love to see you and connect with you. If you don't, my name is Stephanie Zima, and I am cooking today some green beans, some cauliflower, and some meatballs, okay? Now what I talked about a little while ago, and I'm going to say it again, is sometimes when you are not wanting to spend money on fresh vegetables, or you are not really sure when you're going to be in the mood for what, and you want to eat something different, frozen is always a good option. They're really reasonable, $1 or $2, if at all for it, so it's probably less than $2 per that. So if you want to increase your vegetable intake because you're diabetic, for example, but you are afraid of the budget situation, then this is a good option, okay? It is a good option. You can just go ahead and get them frozen. Now, the cauliflower mash, you can make them from scratch, with a fresh cauliflower, but I found that it's easier if you just get the frozen one. If you take a look at it, I get my stuff from Aldi, but you find it probably at Walmart too, or any other store that you are shopping at. So it's called riced cauliflower, and those are pretty good. They don't have carbs, so for you to know, they have just a little bit. They have 4 grams of carbs, no added sugars. Okay, so those are a really good option. And then obviously the green beans also, they have just a little bit. They have 6 grams of carbohydrates. So you have to kind of watch, because when they're in this package, for example, okay, so this is one thing I'm just going to say. On this package, it says no added sugars, but total sugars are going to be 2 grams, okay? And then you want to take a look about 1 cup is your serving size. So 1 cup of green beans is your serving size, and you have 6 grams of carbohydrates on a package. Now, you don't really have that much when you make fresh, so just make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, and then as far as the beef is concerned, I am going to use grass-fed beef. Do what you can, okay? But try to stay about 8 ounces a day on beef or meat in general. Hi, Lynn. Thanks for hopping on. Okay, so that's basically it. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start with mixing up our meat, because this is what's going to cook the longest, okay? So I'm going to show you guys really quick what we are doing. I'm going ahead and opening my package, and then we are just going to put that in with an egg. Okay, I'm going to show you real quick. So we're going to put in the meat. Try to minimize your serving sizes, and when you are increasing your money, your grocery bill, with adding more vegetables, sometimes we may think like, wow, we have so much money that we're spending now, but if you decrease your meat intake, then it kind of like it levels out some. Okay, so we're going to put an egg in here. Try to not put the eggshells in it. Okay. And now we're going to put some spices. I always love spices. Okay, so we'll put some paprika, you guys, paprika. We're going to use some garlic and herb spices. You don't have to do that, okay? You can put spices in that you like. You don't have to get the exact same ones. I mean, yes, they always have I'm going to put some turmeric in it, because turmeric is anti-inflammatory. Hi, Pam. Thanks for hopping on. Love to see you again. Okay, so we have turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory. Now what does that mean? It is helping your joints feel better. Now when you put turmeric in it, you want to also put pepper to go with it. Okay, just a little bit of pepper. And you want to put a little bit of oil, so just a dash, okay, so that the turmeric can actually work. Okay, so now we're gonna mix that up here real quick. I'm gonna use my hands in just 1 second to really get that in. Did I put salt in yet? I don't think I did. So I'm also going to use some garlic salt. Just a little bit. Like so. Okay. And now make sure you have no rings on, because otherwise it kind of gets yucky. You can kind of really get it in and mix all the spices together with your meatballs. Now, if you have any questions, if you have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the comments. If you have ever tried any of my recipes, or if you have ever tried cooking anything, I would love for you to post a picture and tag me in it so I can see and give you a shout out. I would love that. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. And if you want to know what I make ahead of time, and you want to get the meal plan, then go ahead and click on the link in the description box or under my profile. It's called, it's got healthy recipes in there. Click on there, because I'm in my email list. I am sending out every Monday, I'm sending out the meal plan, so you can get ahead and get that. It doesn't cost anything at all, so you guys don't have to worry. And so, okay, you see, this has now become a little bit sticky, which is good, right? That's what we want. We want it to be sticky, so it sticks together, and that comes from the egg. So I'm going to wash my hands off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of, if you don't have diabetes, you can use flour to coat it a little bit. I am going to use this brand, the Spot Bread's Mill cornstarch, okay? And it thickens sauces and soups and fillings, and you know, you can coat meat and vegetables with it. And the reason why I use this one is because when you look on the label, okay, you want to see how much it is. 1 tablespoon has only 30 calories, and it is total of 7 grams, okay, of carbs. So you want to make sure this is very, very low, because we don't want to add a lot of carbs to those, but you want to measure it, okay, so that you are going to be able to calculate it and put it into your app. If you have an app, if you don't have an app that tracks what you eat, I would suggest you're going to do that. I'm going to measure it off so I know exactly 1 tablespoon. Okay, so now when you make it, like, you have to see how many servings you have. Okay, so if I'm going to cut that in half, I'm going to use my 8 ounces or 6 ounces of meat. I'm going to cut that in half. Basically, I'm going to also calculate for my husband that this is a half a serving of this to go into it. Okay, now if you are okay and you have the rest of the meal very low carb, then that should be fine, and you should not have any problems even if you don't count it. But if you want to add your potatoes, and if you want to add all your other stuff, then you want to make sure you really pay attention to what you're putting into your meals, okay? And you calculate all of that, because otherwise you have surprising numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to get my pan out. On with me, hang on. It's a little tricky to do with one hand. Okay. All right, so the same with the cooking spray. Don't just use butter or oil, because if you do, you add the calories, right? You want to use something that when you look at the label has literally 0, 0, 0, 0 of anything in there, okay? Okay, so now we're going to spray that a little bit, and we're going to use our meatballs, and we're going to roll it and make little patties like that. This is something you can also make ahead of time. For example, if you want to make more of them, you just put some more in the freezer or in the fridge, and you always have something like a quick lunch if you need something, or you can, you know, even have a snack, because low carb is the way to go. And often, you know, when we get hungry, we are trying to quickly make that hungry feeling go away, right? So what do we grab? We grab something what's in the pantry, and that is always the worst. Whether or not you want to lose weight, or you have diabetes, it doesn't matter which one it is, right? Or if you even have an autoimmune disease, any of these anti-inflammatory foods, the processed foods, is gonna give you a flare-up. Okay, so you want to try to stay ahead with your cooking, with your refrigerator. You want to stay as organized as you possibly can. You want to have options for your lifestyle. So if you are somebody who's running around and you are on the go a lot, then you want to make sure that you have something in the fridge that you can just grab and go. Okay, so you have to kind of get an idea as to what your patterns are of your life. Usually that's what I discuss in the coaching courses with the people individually. I really actually go around and figure out what is everybody doing, where are they at, to really identify and then come up with customized plans as to what they need to be doing to really get their numbers and everything else under control. So I'm going to move this over here, because now they just gonna kind of, unlike I use it for, what is it, 4-3 on mine, a low simmer. Okay, on to the other two. So we want to make obviously our green beans, right? So all I'm going to do with that is I'm going to open up this package and dump that into my pot at this moment. And now I want to get that part going. The same with the rice cauliflower. Okay. Just get another pot. And we're going to also use the rice cauliflower. And since this is frozen, it's going to take a minute to unfreeze, right? So this rice cauliflower already has garlic and herb on it, so that's all good. Okay, now in order for this to really cook, I don't want to burn it, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it so it unfreezes, and make it on high and cover it up for a second. Okay, and then the same thing with the rice cauliflower. Put a little bit of water in it, and then we will cover it up for a second and let this cook on high and defrost. Now, if you are planning ahead, obviously, you can also take it out the night before, and then you have something, right? Okay. On to the next thing. I am going to add just a little bit extra to my food here, and this is one of the things. So the bacon bits you can use extra for spicing up your green beans. Okay, so when you take a look again, we're looking at the label while this is cooking. You want to take a look. You want to see how many carbs does it have. Okay, so not just the calories, but you want to take a look, how many carbs does it have? Okay, this one has 0 carbs. Great. Does it have any added sugars? That's what you want to make sure that you don't have anything extra here. Okay, if you are diabetic, that's the things you want to mainly pay attention to, that you don't end up adding carbohydrates or sugars to your diet. And if you can cut that out, and keep those portion sizes to not cutting out completely. Okay, the body needs carbs. We need some carbs, and it depends on what your medications are and all that stuff. You know, you have to be careful. Listen to your doctor, obviously, right? What your doctor is saying in that matter. But generally speaking, this is where you want to pay attention, that you are not going to go overboard with that. And if you look at any of the processed foods, right, what you have usually in the pantry, okay, I'm going to talk to you for a second here. What you normally, when you look at the pantry, there is a ton of like hidden sugars in there. There's a ton of carbs in any of these packaged foods. So key is going to be to find snacks and find ways to cook that are going to be suitable for your lifestyle and that you can keep in the fridge. Any whole food, okay, is always better than anything processed. But often we don't know how to prepare them. Often we don't know how to cook them. We don't know how to how to do it quickly on the run. Somehow many people have that idea that cooking takes a long time, right? And if you follow me and if you keep watching my videos, you'll see that I never spend more than 30 minutes on cooking. And usually I don't talk as much, right? But now I'm trying to show what it is that I'm doing so that you guys can learn. If you know anybody else, invite them to share my video out. I would appreciate it, because you know what? I figured out that there's such a need for people to be educated, and especially now with these COVID times, people are not getting into their nutritionists, right? They don't get the appointments and stuff, and it's really kind of crazy to see the need out there. So, healthy you, better together, share it out for sure. Okay, moving on. Here we go. So when you take a look at it, it really goes quick. Yes. So here we have them pretty much already all done. Now you can spice that up. You can add other stuff to it if you want to. You could put some extra vegetables to it. So I'm gonna take a look. Don't mind my children. They're like getting very excited. I have to. Let's see, what else do I have in my refrigerator that needs to be going? That's the one thing you have with fresh fruits. You always have to kind of keep an eye on it. You can't let it sit for a long time, because then, then it ends up going bad and you can throw it out just like I had to just do. So, never mind. Okay, I think that is it. That is it. That is it. Okay, now I myself, I'm going to show you this. I myself need, and you know, people say sometimes, oh, I don't have time to cook 50,000 different things. My kids don't want to eat that, or my husband doesn't want to eat that. You know, that is also a mindset that you may have. That really is not necessarily the truth, okay? Because if you have stuff ready and prepared, you are going to be able to eat and cook something on the go, just like everybody else has. Okay, so here, this is now defrosted, and all of them are cooked. I'm going to show you what I do next. I am going to rinse this out really quickly. Where are my gloves? Okay, and I'm going to get rid of that excess water in here. Okay, so we've got the excess water off. Now I'm going to use a little bit of salt And a little bit of pepper. Nothing fancy, right? A little bit of pepper, okay. Here comes your bacon bits. Okay, we'll put a little bit of bacon. Everyone loves bacon, right? Don't we? Everybody loves bacon. We'll put a little bit. Doesn't it look already so much better? Like the moment you put bacon in, already looks a lot better. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually add so you drain your rice cauliflower, and I'm going to actually just dump that straight in there too. Okay. Okay, so I'll add that straight in here. We'll let that cook off, that extra water that is in there. We'll put just a little bit extra bacon on top. Make sure you don't burn your meatballs. So flip them over sometimes. Okay, so this is pretty much already done, right? Now this is a pretty delicious, I'll tell you, this is pretty delicious as it is. So I'm gonna leave it like that for a minute. I'm just gonna cook off the extra water in that. Now, in the meantime, okay, so when you say you can't cook anything extra, I myself, hey Joanna, I myself need a little bit more carbs, okay? So here's what I've had made yesterday. I pressure cooked a sweet potato, okay? So the sweet potato, I only needed a half one yesterday, so today I want to make the rest of it. So I'm just gonna put, my kids also love sweet potatoes, by the way, right? So that's another thing. So me and my kids, we need a little bit more. My husband obviously needs a bit of less carbs. So you can modify stuff. So what I'm gonna put in here is some ghee. Ghee is clarified butter, okay? Free of lactose, casein, gluten, sodium. You can put just a little bit of butter in it if you want. I like the ghee because it's just better for your gut. I'll put that in. And friends, I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. So I'm going to fry this up here for a second with that. And then, you know, if you buy fresh spinach like that, okay, fresh spinach, if you buy fresh spinach, all you're going to do is you're going to add a couple handful in there. You can also make that in the morning with eggs if you want. But you obviously, like if you are diabetic, you have to kind of watch out a little bit. Because the amount of sweet potato also has. You don't want to have more than 1/3 of a cup. So if you are diabetic, I would suggest you stick with this. This is the low carb option, right? I made homemade chili and broccoli cheddar soup last night. Yeah, that sounds delicious. Joanna, that sounds delicious. So this is all done here, guys. If you can take a look, this is all done and yummy and delicious. And here I'm going to make just a little bit of extra for me and the kiddos. Kiddos love the spinach also. And I'm going to put just a little bit more of this turmeric in there. Anti-inflammatory. Very good. Yummy, yum. Some more turmeric. Paprika. Some pepper, so that the turmeric can be absorbed. And that is it, you guys. Okay, there you have it. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's delicious. You can make that as a side dish for any kind of fish, for example. And here is our meatballs, and they are already also done. And there we have it, guys. Okay, all right. So I am excited to connect with you. Make sure you drop in the comments, what did you like best about today's cooking video? What do you have questions on? I would really like to know what you're all thinking. Make sure you hop on over into my email list to get the meal plan for next week. And make sure you also check out my YouTube, because that's where I'm going to upload everything. So eventually you'll have a whole library of recipes that you can get to and, take advantage from, right? If you have to look up something else. So talk to you all later. Have a fabulous day, and mwah, bye.